Hey guys, tonight we're settling in with something soft, simple, and surprisingly chaotic. What medieval kids actually did for fun. So get comfortable, dim the lights, and let's drift back to a world where childhood entertainment was, let's call it resourceful, because medieval kids didn't have toys. They had whatever the universe accidentally placed near them. And sometimes that meant sticks, rocks, mud, or their own imagination desperately trying to survive boredom. So picture a medieval child, not a Disney prince in training, more like a tiny, semi-feral human covered in dried grass and one questionable bruise. Their fun usually started with dirt, because of course it did. Dirt was everywhere. Dirt was the playground. They dug holes, made mud cakes, drew in the dust, and proudly showed adults their creations, which were basically brown blobs with enthusiasm. Rocks were the next big thing. You could throw them, stack them, roll them, or use them to poke things you probably shouldn't poke. Some kids collected pretty rocks. Others weaponized them in extremely unofficial sibling tournaments. Very healthy family bonding. If they lived near a forest, it got even more exciting. They played hide and seek between trees, followed animal tracks while pretending they weren't terrified, and built crooked little forts that collapsed the moment someone sneezed. Sometimes they pretended to hunt imaginary beasts, which usually meant a squirrel that ignored them completely. Village kids often played imitation games. If their parents were farmers, they practiced baby farming, which meant dragging a stick like it was a plow. If their parents were blacksmiths, the kids smacked pebbles together and felt very accomplished. And if their parents were nobles, well, those children played court, which mostly involved bossing servants around and practicing the fine art of dramatic sighing. Seasonal fun was a whole category. Winter meant sliding on frozen ponds with the constant risk of falling through, because medieval childhood was basically an insurance nightmare. Summer meant chasing insects, picking berries, or accidentally touching plants that made them itchy for a week. And then there were animals. Medieval kids loved animals. They talked to goats, chased chickens, tried to ride pigs, and sometimes formed deep emotional relationships with stray dogs who were frankly too tired to protest. So, what did medieval kids do for fun? Everything, nothing, whatever they could invent. Childhood back then was messy, loud, creative, dangerous in very casual ways, and somehow still wholesome. A small human, a handful of rocks, and a village full of chores they were definitely avoiding. A perfect childhood for the 12th century.